He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Say hi, what's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new story time. And welcome to She Didn't Know Her Name. So this story time takes place when I was doing my they was calling it intern and then some was calling it an extern. So intern, extern, whatever. I'm finishing my medical assistant situation and I need to get, I think we had to get 170 hours. And at this point in time, I'm not working. So I knocked mine out in no time, which literally in a month. I knocked mine out in a month and a day, something like that, because I think I missed a day. So in a month, so I'm going to work and working like full 8-hour days, basically for free, because your intern, extern, hold on. Actually, it's both. So they were right. Intern and extern actually means the same thing. They give different meanings, but mostly the correct term I will say will be intern, because intern is specifically for um business, technology, and healthcare. So it would really be intern, but extern means like the same thing. So either or. I just wanted to see which one was actually correct. So if we want to be politically correct, intern. So anyway, so I'm doing my intern and like I'm knocking it out because I don't have a job, and it's like I want to go ahead and get into my field so I can start making money, because baby, I have fought hard. I have slept in my car to finish school, and so I only have 30 days. Basically, these 30 days, I need to go ahead and knock these 30 days out. And during these 30 days, I don't remember when I named her, but one of the nurses figures out that I'm sleeping in my car, and so she kind of helps me out basically, and she kind of figures it out because she's like, I'm always bringing in that big cup to clean out in the morning and to dump in the morning, because it got to the point where she was opening in the morning instead of um the office manager, which was the doctor's spouse. So, but with the doctor's spouse, it was easier for me to kind of sneak stuff in because she would be in the office and then I would just be walking in and just say good morning. But once nurse, because I forgot what I named her and I don't know where I named her. She's somewhere. I know I remember talking about her. Once a nurse like started coming in the morning, she figured out like basically that I was sleeping in my car, and she was like, "Girl, what do you need? How can I help you?" And I was like, "Just don't tell nobody, and act like you don't see nothing, because I'm coming in, and because the biggie windy cup was my bathroom, in case like I needed to use the bathroom, in the middle of the night. The big windy cup was my bathroom, and then also Wendy's dollar meal was my savior. That's how I ate or whatever. So anyway, the dollar menu that y'all got dollar and some change, or y'all got a 4 for 4. No, we had a actual dollar menu, 1.00, and you could get 3 to 4 things with taxes for like 3.15 basically. So you could get fries, a drink, and a burger, or you could get a side salad, or you could get a potato. Like our dollar menu was top tier. If I can find a picture, I'll insert it. But our dollar menu compared to which I got, oh no, baby. Oh no, baby. And then we could get like biggie stuff. Like our Wendy's yellow was better than the Wendy's that y'all got now. Just saying. So Wendy's helped me get through when I was sleeping in my car to finish school. And at this point in time, that's literally what this story is about, because the experience that I experienced is one of the experiences while I'm doing my intern. So what's going on now is there is a clash between men and women. And I know maybe black men and black women see it more, of course, because you follow black men and black women. You don't really follow Caucasians like that, because they not your demographic, to be totally honest. You may have a few people that are Caucasian on your page, but majority of your people that you follow and the majority of people that you know interact with and you look forward to are African American. And so at this very moment there is a big huge discussion because Clay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion broke up. And so people are the men are is like, oh, she didn't make him, she didn't make him. Yes, she did. And we're talking about after he left Golden State. While he was on Golden State, yes, especially if you a female who watch sports and know you haven't seen Buddy, you haven't seen him in the limelight, you haven't seen him in the news, he hasn't been popular, he has been splash list since he left Golden State. When he was on Golden State, yes, he was in the news all the time. He was in the media because he was one of the splash brothers. After he left, you did not see him because he was always injured or he was sitting on the bench. You barely saw him. You barely heard anything about him because he wasn't playing. When he started dating her, that's when you saw him more often. Then it was this big thing because of the way that Megan's music is and how she talks about sexuality or whatever. And so I had to make the comment, which of course I knew wasn't going to get a response because most of the time men don't think that females are knowledgeable when it comes down to the points that y'all are trying to make in an argument. So of course they was like, well, it's her music and how she talks, which is kind of throwing him off. Where you knew her music before you dated her. You knew her music before you took her to meet your family. You knew her music before you was calling her wifey or Mrs. Thompson in public. You knew all of this. And my thing is, what does her music have to do with anything? Because Ice Cube, who was killer, 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 bang, 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 gangster, 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 and when it came down to get any woman and hit it up, and go home, was going home to his wife, along with Snoop Dogg. Was going home to the suburbs to his family while he was singing or rapping gangster, gangster, gangster. Today was a good day. You were going home to your wife. So his lyrics was completely different from the life that he was living, which was why once his kids started getting older, he started changing his music and got into movies, and the movies started changing. Because he didn't want his kids to see the gangster, gangster, gangster. Your kids can follow it, but his kids, So that was also our argument, which was also the fact that Klay Thompson has dated Coco Jones. So Coco Jones doesn't sing that type of music, doesn't dress that way, doesn't dance that way as Megan does, even though Megan is free to do whatever she wants to do because that's the beauty of having freedom to rap that way and dance that way and be that way and have the liberty to enjoy sex, because women do enjoy sex. But that's the issue, that we don't say it because here comes the name calling. And so a lot of rappers was like, well, yeah, and then you find out that he cheated on Coco Jones, and it's like she's the completely opposite of Megan, which is why y'all was saying he was cheating. So why he cheated on Coco? Then it got quiet. Right. Because bottom line is, as I've said on repeat, most of the time men don't want to be monogamous. They want to date you and enjoy you, but they also enjoy other women too, which is why they have other women on the side. Because they want you, they do, but they want the other woman too. They want multiple, which is why I keep telling y'all, you might as well be like, hey, girlfriend-in-law, because most of the time when your man coming to you and telling you like, hey, I like her though, he gonna find a way. If she's entertaining it, he's gonna find a way. Whether you like it or not, he gonna find a way. Most of the time men don't want to be a monogamous. There are men out there who are, but most of the time men want to be in power. Men want to feel like they are this king, dominion, dominated person that the media portray. because of their ego. Not necessarily meaning that they have that personality. Most of the time it's ego. I've seen men handle multiple women and the women agree. Cause at this point it's like, he gonna keep, he gonna make time. I keep telling y'all that. He gonna make time. Regardless. You think, oh, my man, my man, my man, I'm his wife. I'm the one. And if it's somebody that he wanna see and she willing, he's going to make time. I've seen it in every generation. It's like, dang. What's the dude? Sharon, I think that was his name. Sharon, the Michigan coach, wife, family. She had a girlfriend, and according to her, because your little plot didn't go the way that it was, so you come on an interview to do a tell all. It's like one way or another, I'm gonna get me some money some way somehow. So yeah, people really not paying you no attention now because y'all, lined up the evidence to take him down, which is what anyway. Um, yeah. So according to you, y'all had a relationship and everybody knew about it. All they cared about was winning football games. But then you say you didn't want the relationship. But if you didn't want the relationship, how they knew? How did they know about a relationship that you didn't want? And they were okay with it as long as y'all was winning football games. Yeah. Something about that ain't adding up. Shout out to the judge who threw your stuff out. Women like you give women a bad name who really are in danger and who really are in trouble. Anyway, so there's a religion. At this point in time, Muslim men are able to have multiple wives. I don't know which particular. I think it's literally the religion. And some men can either choose to practice and some choose not to. I've had a friend who she wasn't married. She was in love with a Muslim man. And she had, I think, 3 children for him. But at the point in time, she had 2. And he was stating certain things that he felt like she should be doing. When it came down to him having multiple wives, he said he wasn't practicing that part. Those who watch Tasha K on here, her husband, he is Muslim, so to speak. But there's just certain things that he doesn't practice. She has said he said that he's not practicing the multiple wives type situation. And that like his family was very disappointed when he chose an American woman instead of a woman basically in Muslim religion. So during this time and during my intern, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. As I tell y'all, like when you work in healthcare and you're working with patients, it's never a dull moment. I love watching Untold Stories of the ER because literally, I believe every story that they come up with. If you weren't there, you wouldn't believe it. If somebody is coming to you and telling you, just like those are lies. No, you would be amazed. So at this point in time, this car pulls up and there's a little boy sitting in the front. There's a little boy sitting in the front. A man is driving and the woman is in the back seat. The man gets out, he goes around, he opens the back door, the lady gets out, she gets out, stands there, doesn't move. He opens the door to the passenger side, the little boy gets out. Little boy is small enough to where he needs to be in a booster car seat and not in the front. But he's sitting in the front, no booster, no car seat. sitting in the front seat. I don't know how far or where these people came from. I just know that little boy shouldn't be sitting in the front seat, but he was. So they walk up because we can see, like, when you're standing at the front desk, because this is like at this point in time, it's morning, but the morning is kind of slow and we enjoying it. Those who are MAs and nurses get it. You get it, you get it. You enjoy a slow morning. You know Monday morning is going to be like your heaviest when you turn on the phone because it's people from the weekend, it's people coming in from the ER, especially when you are doing family practice, general practice, family practice. Specialty, maybe you may have like a little, depending on the specialty practice of what it is. Neurology, it was always busy. Dermatology was always busy. OBGYN was always busy. What other practice did I work in? Pediatrics. I want to say pediatrics is a specialty, but pediatrics was definitely always busy. Especially your end of the month, because if you accept government assistance, basically Medicare, not Medicare, Medicaid. Medicaid, you have to check your insurance that day of, like the first day, to make sure like their Medicaid is active, because Medicaid only runs one 30 days basically. So in between that, like, you have to always check to make sure that their Medicaid is active, because Medicare is for the older people. And that's if the practice is accepted. Anyway, but family practice was, because family practice is kind of a broad spectrum, was always, Monday was always busy. You always look for a slow day. And at this point in time, I think this might be my third week and I'm been in the corner getting ready to be finished. Been in the corner getting ready to be finished, right? So as I'm getting ready to be finished, like, the experiences, like I said, I have gotten was interesting. I had seen some interesting things during intern. Literally, it was like, and then I was also able to like give injections and certain things. A lot of the things that you learn in school, every practice is going to be different of how they do certain procedures. You got to get out there. The best experience is basically hands-on, real talk. Because sometimes that bedside manner and you being nice and all that other ish literally don't work. Because sometimes people just nasty. So you're going to have to make it your own. Anyway, so we're standing at the front desk, waiting, like basically enjoying the downtime. And so we see this car pull up. We see the lady get out of the back seat. We see the little boy get out of the front. And this is when we start talking, because it's like, what? Because he needs to be basically in a booster car seat is our main concern, because his little butt, because that's just how small he was, because he had to be no more than 2 or 3 range. If he was 4, he was a small 4, still needs to be in a booster car seat. So that's our biggest concern, because he's in the front seat. So we're thinking, well, maybe they don't live far. Even so, the baby still needs to be in a booster car seat, because just because you don't live far don't mean like something can't happen. Anyway, so we're watching, because it's like now we're intrigued, because we see this little boy getting out of the front seat. So they come in, and when they come in, he points, the man points to the side, and she stands where he points. He has the little boy by his hand. He comes in, sign her name, and then leaves. And he leaves the little boy there with her. Leaves. So looking at the sign-in sheet, we can't really understand nothing that he wrote. So we ask her, okay, what's your name and date of birth? She just stands there. So the nurse is looking at me like, and so we're thinking like, well, maybe she don't understand English. So she points name and date of birth, and she just stands there, doesn't say nothing. So we trying to figure out, like, looking at the schedule, basically, like, we're trying to figure out what he wrote compared to what the schedule is. And so nothing is computing and comparing to what he wrote and looking at the schedule. And so at this point, we're thinking, well, maybe she's a walk-in because walk-ins were accepted. And so at this point, but it's like, in order for us to help you, you have to talk. She's not saying anything. And so nurse again was like, what's your name and date of birth? So I go out, and so I was like, what's mommy's name? What's mommy's name? Little boy, literally. And this is how you know he had no business being in the front seat, because what does he say? Mommy. So we're sitting there trying to figure out how to help this lady who is literally not helping herself because she's not saying nothing. So the doctor comes out, and so the doctor is like, what's going on? Because again, it's a slow morning, but all you hear us repeatedly saying, what's, your name and date of birth? Because the manager comes out, which is, as I told y'all, his spouse. So she comes out, and so she's trying to, because they are, because that's literally their last name. So I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Dang. Yeah, so they practice the same religion. So you are assuming, since she practiced, what I'm saying, the same religion, because of how she is dressed, like, you start talking in a certain native tongue to see if she understands, and she's not saying anything. At this point, she's African American, but you can also tell, like, they practice Muslim because of the way that she's dressed. Like, the way that he was dressed. Like, they have a certain way to dress. They are very extremely, when it comes down to women, with modesty, basically. And so she basically, the only thing you see on her is her eyes. They are very strict when it comes down to a woman with that, even though there is proof that a woman completely covered in a mosque praying was sexually assaulted. Yeah. As I keep telling y'all, like, it's not what a woman has on, it's the mindset of the predator. But you know. Anyway, so yeah, so she completely covered. Only thing you can see is her eyes, literally. And so the little boy, the little boy being a little boy, like, you hopping all around. And so she just standing there looking. Because those men who practice having multiple wives, or even if you just have one, most of the time they have these strict rules and these strict control over their wives, which is why when people tell you, when you go to Dubai, be very careful, of the rules and the things that they have over there, because they don't, you going into their country, girl. This is not America. You can't run stuff how you want to run stuff. Like, whenever you are visiting a different country, like, you need to do your research. You need to find out your laws. You can't do the ish that you do at home. You're not at home. Make sure you research. Find out what is what. Like, people, I remember at one point when they was going to Dubai, was getting arrested for screaming and hollering or whatever. And I think they was just laughing loud in the craziness. Anyway, a lot of times rumor mill is the underground work camps, slavery type situation over there. So be careful. Anyway, yeah, because I know a lot of people who have visited over there and was like, they want to do it again. They experienced it, but not something that they would want to do again. Thank you for the experience. Holla at you type situation. Anyway, so yeah. So even in that, like, so she just standing there. Literally, all we can see is her eyes. You're not saying anything when we asking your name and date of birth. Like, so it's like, okay, how do we figure out to help you when we don't know how to help you? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're not saying anything. So it's like now we're trying to figure out where, you know what I'm saying? Like, where the husband went, like how we could get in contact with the husband or with somebody. So we asked, and I was like, your insurance card, you have your insurance card? Like, because he signed her in and left. So like you just standing there. So it's like you have your insurance card because we need that. You have your insurance card because maybe that'll help. So you pull out your insurance card and you did lay that down. You lay that down, and the name on the insurance card is nowhere on our schedule. And it's like we don't know at this point in time what to do. We like literally we are pulling, gasping for some kind of solution because we don't know what to do. So at this point in time, the doctor is like, she's been here for a good 10-20 minutes, which she had. And he was like, there's no way with the upcoming appointments, I can see her. Like I can't fit her in without basically her insurance card, without her talking. He was like, because the only way I can help her in the back, she has to talk, which is true. So he was like, y'all can't get her signed in. She definitely can't be seen because if she can't talk while she's up here to get signed in, I can't see her. And so he asked, like at this point in time, again, the lobby is not crowded, it's not busy, we're slow, but it's coming up to like where it's basically patients are gonna come in and starting to kick in, so where our little break is over. And he went and he asked her, he was like, what can I do to help you? How can I help you? And she just standing there. She not saying nothing. So some way, somehow, ooh, the nurse went on the website and pulled up her name and pulled up her Medicaid. But we're pulling up her Medicaid and getting her information, it shows that she wasn't active, for what you call it, regular care. Like she wasn't active for regular care. Like she only had her name popped up for basically the baby. So it's like, is the baby being seen or are you being seen? So she finally get a number. Like she called the number. The lady is literally like, you hear people talking in a different language, and then nurse was like, does anybody speak English? Which at this point in time is frustrating because we've been dealing with this for like 20 minutes. And so come and somebody get the phone and it's like, yes, yes. And it's like, can you tell her husband to come get her? Because we can't see her without name, date of birth. Like we need information. Yes, yes, yes. So at this point, it's like, and she's still standing there. She has not moved out of the spot he told her to stand in when he left. He pulls back up, and when he comes in, he's upset. And he's talking in a different language, and then he turns it to English, and then he was like, she doesn't speak unless I tell her she can speak. She doesn't move unless I tell her she can move. She is a woman. She's beneath man, which is why my son sits in the front. And we looking like, so nurse was like, so does she need to be seen or what? Because she can't, like, she has to be able to talk to be seen. And so he was like, oh, well, she can't talk without me being here. So she was like, so are you going to stay here so she can be seen? And so he was like, woman, who are you to talk to me that way? She said, I'm the woman who's trying to help your wife because you brought your wife here and made her stand here. So apparently she needs to be seen. But in order for her to be seen, she needs an insurance card. She needs an ID. She doesn't have any of that. So it's like, well, we can't see her. And so he was like, get in the car. So She walks out, got in the back. The little boy got back, put in the front, and they leave. So the doctor comes out and the doctor says, in our religion, there are some men who literally take advantage and take control where the woman can't do anything. You are the property of the man. You can't say anything. You can't maneuver. You are literally his property. He said 9 times out of 10, he said she was kind of tall. He said she probably was a child. Because you do know, like, they have child marriages over there. Like, we've been voting on that, especially in those foreign countries where it's like y'all can't marry kids, leave kids. Like, y'all won't make y'all government pay for messing with kids. Anyway, so yeah, so we're sitting there like, thank God we were born in America. But it's like, even in America, it's like, because we're in America, it's like you still have some men who feel like women are property and like you don't have any rights, you don't have any say, like you don't even know what you're doing, because literally we did not have any. And we are dumbfounded. And mind you, it's three of us standing there. Two of us are African American and one is Caucasian. And the Caucasian girl literally was like, speechless, dumbfounded throughout the whole situation. And so she was like, I commend you guys, because how you were handling, you were still trying to help her, because I've seen it before on repeat. But yeah, because one of my neighbors, she wasn't Muslim. She ended up converting once she found a husband. Because I keep telling y'all, they have groomed us to feel like, even though she had her own land, her own house, had raised her children, had did all of that by herself, after all her children had left, basically she still had to have a man. You end up having a Muslim man, and then once you get this Muslim man, out of a sudden, out of the blue, you get sick and end up passing away. And he buried you a certain way because he said when he died, he needed to be above you and on top of you, the way that he had her buried and the way that he had her grave laid, because women are beneath men. He was a Muslim. She actually converted because she was Christian and she converted to Muslim. So it's a lot of men who do practice Muslim religion and feel that way, and they feel like they actually have the opportunity to have multiple wives. Multiple wives is in the Bible. They have concubines and multiple wives. A lot of kings had those type situations. So literally, when y'all be mad at the side chicks, it's like, ain't that in the Bible that y'all hype up? Oh. But I know y'all only pick and choose the part of Ruth and Boaz, right? Because that lady husband died mysteriously and nobody know. All of a sudden he was with his people and he just mysteriously died. Anyway, yeah. So while we were sitting there in that experience, the Caucasian girl was just baffled. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, how did she even maneuver? How did she even put up with that? And I was like, well, if she is a child, she don't really have a say, because her family probably sold her for, in a third world country, like, you most of the time the young girls are being sold for like cows. Like, cows is, if you have farmland, if you have multiple animals, you're considered wealthy, you're considered rich. So she probably was sold for a cow, an older man, or I want your daughter, and in exchange for a cow, they do it. I used to love when like Nat Geo Wild would have those documentaries and have those shows where you would see the different tribes and everything. And I saw this one little girl who was 14, who was promised to this older man, and they put her in a tent. And in this tribe, they were circumcising the women because they didn't want the women to have any feelings, basically, in their vagina. So the circumcision, which they would clip a certain part of the clitoris and sew it up so you wouldn't have any feeling, any sexual, natural sexual warning feeling. Because again, women enjoy sex. It's just most of the time it's very hard to find a partner to actually say that. Because Megan has told y'all like she enjoys sex, but look at how y'all treat Megan. There was this one man on my Instagram who said, Adam, what did he say? God gave Adam, it was a meme. God gave Adam a virgin, not a baby mama with, I think he said like 3 kids. And I said, you do realize that Adam was a virgin as well and not a baby daddy of 2? And he didn't respond. It was like, you want a woman to be this wholesome, nobody has ever touched her, while you coming in with all these bodies on you. He never said anything after that. Because it's like, you do realize that Adam was a virgin too, right? And it's like looking at the things now where it's like, and it's not just in the African American community where, because I know, and I'm not knocking it, where, they're saying like basically the African American community, like the women and all the husbands that are unaliving their wives at this point, and they're saying we're going through femicide, baby. The Caucasian ladies are too. Y'all just don't watch it, which is why when they call that black on black crime BS, it's like, baby, just head on over to Nightline and Dateline and ID channel, because they're getting taken out too, being pushed over boats in the Bahamas, in the in the in the what you call it, during a storm. It's like, why would you be on a little boat in a storm in the Bahamas? So yeah, so it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally baffling to me how this day and age, how men feel like they need to overpower a woman. And in that community, they are very adamant and very strict and strategic when it comes down to their women. And some women want that. You know what I'm saying? Some women want to, or feel like they need that type situation. But yeah. So I don't believe she didn't know her name. I believe she knew who she was, but it was because of her religion and how she practiced that she couldn't say anything. And it was like, you knew that. So why would you drop her off and not get her to the point where she needed help? Anyway, that is the story time of She Didn't Know Her Name. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one. Be careful. He got problems, she got problems. Only I got for you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.